Okay, this is Dr. Herbert Harris going live again. Let me tell you something, folks. This technology stuff is, let's just say it's for the birds or the dogs or the cats or something. But I'll tell you this, success is for us all. And I'm sharing some information tonight. We're going to do some reading from our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, because I want to get everybody tuned in so that they can attend our How to Overcome Lack of Focus webinar tomorrow night. That's Monday night, 7 p.m. So let's share a little bit of information about the law of focus. And any questions you have, type them in and we'll have a little discussion going here. And you can share with your friends because I'm going to answer your questions and we're going to have a lot of fun. Hey, Pam, welcome. And Mike and Linda and Matt. All right. Well, you know, the law of focus comes from the sixth law, the sixth universal law of success. And it says this, the universal law of success provides that your attention and your intention must always be focused on your goals, your vision, and your purpose. And your thoughts, your emotions, and actions must be under your control. Now, that's a profound statement. Because if your thoughts, emotions, and actions are not under your control, you can't get the energy necessary to focus on that which you desire. There's a beautiful passage that I will paraphrase, and it says, the light of the body is in the eye. If your eye is single, the whole body is full of light. And metaphysically, that means that understanding, knowledge, wisdom, in other words, that's what light is. Light is understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. That's the metaphysical, you might say, treatment of knowledge, wisdom. Light comes through what you see. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding comes through what you see. That to which you give your attention and your intention. If you focus your attention, in other words, if your eye is single, if the only thing you can see is that you desire, then it will be accomplished on the grandest scale. So to be focused really means to exert such self-control that no one and nothing can deter or distract you from your goals and your vision. No one and nothing can deter or distract you from your purpose. Now, our listeners, how many of you have ever had your life just sort of get jerked off track? You know, sometimes we say you can be working on your goals, working on your vision, getting things done, and then life comes at you with both barrels. Bang, boom, bip, distractions, health issues, money issues. And you know, when those things happen, you know, it definitely pulls you off track. And if you've experienced that, you know, just say, yes, I've been there. All right, Anthony and Rhonda and Billy, wow, welcome. Well, I guarantee you, I think each and every one of us has been there. And the key is to, what do you have to do to get your focus back? Well, remember this, wherever you place your focus, your thoughts, your emotion, and even events and activities will follow. You know, racing car drivers, Billy says, been there. I hear you. Yes, yes. And it's a trip when you get yourself pulled off focus and you find that it seems like no matter what you're doing is not the right thing. But the key is to keep on doing, keep on plugging, hang on in there. So whatever you place your focus on, your thoughts, emotions, and even activities and events will follow. You know, people who drive racing cars are taught that when they go into a spin, rather than look at the wall, to look at the center of the track, because it's something about that whatever you focus on, that's where your life goes, that's where your attention goes. So many times you hear one-car accidents. I know when I was a young man, we were traveling and down the road coming in, I think from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and the guy driving the car sort of dozed off, and when he looked up, the only thing we could see was this one tree in the middle of the field. And would you believe it, we hit that one tree? So in your life, those who are on here, on this, we'll call it discussion today, Many of you have hit a wall, have come to a situation where you just got completely off track. That wherever you were supposed to be going, you're not going there. Wherever you're supposed to be at, you're not there. So those of you who are watching, maybe type in a little situation, if you can think of something short where you just got pulled off track and you're not sure what did it, but you know for sure that you're off track. And so in our webinar, we're going to talk about how to overcome lack of focus, how to get yourself back on track. And I'll tell you this, if you don't get your focus together, if your focus is not on track, it's hard to get the things you want out of life. So I'm going to hit a couple of points. And one of the key points that we have to remember about focus is that you can only focus on one thing at a time. I know in this age of multitasking and, all the young people have the cell phones in their hands and they're walking around and, they're talking and they're texting. The mind can focus on one thing at a time. Now, you can do many things in succession, but your focus is like a laser beam rather than a light bulb. It cuts through the darkness and it illuminates one thought, one emotion, one activity at a time. So those who are listening today, let people know we're going to be on here for a little while, and let them know we're here. And any questions you have about focus, about something that may help you get back on track, just type it in and we'll see if we can answer it. Fair enough? Okay. When you focus on one thing at a time, it's like a magnifying glass. The same sun that lights the street, when you focus that energy, that light through a magnifying glass, the intensity is so powerful that it can literally burn a piece of paper, can burn wood, it can start a fire. And so your focus is like that. When you're focused, you create a power relationship with that you're focused on that's so strong that it's got to happen. We often say whatever you focus on grows. Have you been there? If you focus on the problem, guess what? The problem grows. If you focus on the problem, you'll never solve it. I think Einstein said, you can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that created the problem. And so, if you focus on the problem rather than the solution, you'll never solve it. But if you focus on solving the problem, if you focus on the solution, then the solution will appear. To be focused also means it requires faith in yourself and in your ability. If you have no faith in yourself, you cannot be focused. And that may be bad news. Because many times we can think about things that we want to do, be, and have, but if we really down in our heart, in our feeling nature, don't have faith that we can accomplish it, it won't happen. Even if we proceed along the path with deliberation to achieve that victory, if we don't have faith that we can accomplish it, if we don't feel worthy of the victory, if we don't see ourselves the way we will be when we are victorious, this is amazing. Somehow we will snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. We often talk about a young man who was a track star, but he was a star on the small stage. But when he would run, his times were like world-class times, and everybody knew. They said, this guy gets on the national stage and he gets the big race, he's going to win. He's going to set new world records. I mean, he was setting world records in unofficial events. But when he got in the big race for the big time, for the big outcome, he was 15 yards ahead of everybody else. And all of a sudden, 10 yards from the finish line, he stopped running. Everybody was shocked. I mean, everybody passed him. He ended up coming in dead last. So what happened? He could never see himself winning that race. He could never see the glory, the excitement, the goodies that come from being a winner. And as a result, he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. So those of you who are watching this broadcast, what are you doing to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in your life? What are you doing that's undermining your success? What are you doing that you know is creating problems for yourself, if not today, but in the near future? Whatever it is, stop it. Because when you focus on the desired outcome, you put into action the energy to make it happen. Number two, if you want to overcome lack of focus, one of the main things that can keep us off focus is bad health. So in order to overcome lack of focus, you must maintain a level of health. I had a health challenge recently. And I'll tell you something amazing, folks. It was amazing just how so many things just ground to a halt. Even though my business is organized, my company is organized, it's okay. But just my not being there made a big difference. Health challenges can demand your immediate attention. Health challenges can demand your consistent, your continuous attention. When you're not physically fit, when you're not full of energy, when you lack stamina, when you feel tired all the time, these feelings will consume your mind and undermine your ability to focus. So these are just a couple of tidbits, folks. Tomorrow, I see there are a number of you on this broadcast. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a webinar on how to overcome lack of focus. And I'll tell you this, that webinar can be the key to open the door to your success. Many times we don't even realize what we're doing to undermine our success. When our goals are not clearly defined, when our goals don't complement our vision, our life purpose, we can be working our tails off, but it's like spinning your wheels in the sand. We're not getting anywhere. So we're going to talk about that in the webinar. What you have to do to clarify your goals, to refine your goals, to redefine your goals so that you can step up, so that you can take a checkup from the neck up and from the heart down. Because once you do that, then you can put yourself in order to stay in harmony with what you have to do to achieve what you desire. So sort of wrapping up the thought on health, there's a beautiful Arabian proverb, and it says, "He who hath health has hope, and he who has hope has everything." He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Billy Miller, you've already signed up for the webinar. Let's go. I can't wait until tomorrow night at 9 o'clock comes. Jenny Howard, welcome. Jeff Sackett, Dennis, all of you. Let me tell you, see the link there beside the broadcast. Click on it, register for the webinar. You get some free gifts. You're going to get a download, an audio, 7 things that cause failure. You know, it's funny. This whole success journey is very nicely quantified. It's been written about time and time. Napoleon Hill. Many of the great success writers, Schwartz, you name it, you go on and on. Earl Nightingale. And they all say the same things because, as we say in our book, the universal laws of success. The laws of success are universal. And so we're going to help you overcome that lack of focus and show you a step-by-step method to do it. I'll tell you another key to help overcome lack of focus. You have to have faith in yourself. You can't have focus without faith. That's a powerful statement. You can't have focus without faith. If you doubt your intentions, if you doubt your ability, if you doubt the dreams that you're seeking. You know, sometimes people would say, I want to accomplish this. This is my goal. You know, I hope I will achieve it. I would like to achieve it. You know, if the good forces bless me, I will achieve it. you have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in your ability. You have to have faith in the process. You see, faith gives force to focus. Just as the sun shines through that magnifying glass to create that fire, that heat, that intensity that can burn, faith shines through the focus of your consciousness to create that magnetic field. You know, we talk so much about the law of attraction, that the law of attraction will bring into your life, will bring into your space all that you need, all that you desire. That's true. But the law of attraction is based on faith and is based on focus. You have to focus on that which you want to attract. Jenny Howard, thank you so much. You can't have focus without faith. Thanks so much, Jenny. And I love it that you follow us and that you're a part of what we're doing. Thank you so much. So many of you have been supportive over the last years. That, hey, here's our good buddy, Susan Hanson. Susan, welcome. You are a true veteran. Susan's been with us so long. She's been through so many of the trainings, and she is a superstar. All right, folks. So let's talk a little bit more about this faith that gives power to focus. You see, when you focus on ideas and thoughts, they become the substance of things hoped for. You know, it says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So think about this: intention and attention. So you can give your attention to something, but not have the intention to make it happen. You can look at a car, look at a goal, and that can be you give that goal your attention. But until you give it your intention, it will not happen. You see, intention is like the direction of your power of desire. You see, desire is a lot like the sun. You know, we desire life, we desire health, we desire food. But when the desire is focused, when you desire a specific thing, when you know how it feels, how it smells, how it moves, when you have that intense desire, you then create the power, the magnetic power to attract into your life that which you're seeking and that which you need to accomplish what you want. Welcome, welcome. Beautiful, beautiful. Any questions that you may have, just type them in. Because this thought of focus, this webinar on focus, is going to be a life changer. Trust me. Very often we are unfocused and we don't even know it. We can get so involved with distractions. You know, one of the things that undermine our focus is distractions, especially other people's challenges, other people's crises. Because when you have distractions created by other people, it creates a contradiction in your mind. Everybody wants to be a nice person. Nobody wants to be really hard and negative. You know, I'm not going to help, and you created the problem. Then when people come to you, you really want to be a part of that. Have a little sip of water here. Any questions, just type in while we're having a refreshment. Let me tell you something, folks. Jenny Howard says, why is it so hard to focus? That's a great question, Jenny. A number of things. Number one, and probably the first, is that we don't have clearly defined goals. We have to focus on something. You can't just be focused. We have to focus on something. And so when we focus on something, if that thing that we're focusing on is not clear, then any interaction can just distract us. So lack of clearly defined goals will undermine focus. Distractions. You know, many times things happen outside things from other people, from outside world. Distractions can undermine focus. Disappointment. You know, I think Winston Churchill said something very powerful. Winston Churchill said that success is really about going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. And so when we have failure after failure after failure, it can wear you down to the point where you just don't have that energy anymore. And eventually your intention becomes centered on the failures. So past failures can slow us down. So those are just a couple of things that can undermine our focus. Bad habits. You know, there was a time when I used to be late for everything. Folks used to say, "You're going to be late for your funeral." I'm like, well, I don't mind that, frankly. If I can be late going out of here, okay, because I kind of like it where I am. But what I found was that habit of tardiness. When I went back, the habit of being late was tied in with the habit of poor preparation, was tied in with lack of planning. And when I went even further, it was tied in with a lack of worthiness, that somewhere in my childhood, someone had told me that it was not good, that money was the root of all evil. And I think subconsciously, I was saying to myself, I want to be comfortable, but I don't want to be rich. So I hope those are some things that can, just make it hard to focus. Let's see. Any other? Billy Miller says, even good things can distract your focus from the great things. Billy, that's a great point, because, the second stage of life is the stage of sensation. That's generally the ages 20 to 40, 25 to 50, when you, like everywhere. But that second stage where you get out of school, you had your education, that second stage, that stage of sensation where you learn about drugs and sex and alcohol and love and all those things that titillate your senses. And one of the things about those things is they're all good to you. Loving is good to you. Drugs may be good to you, but those things can distract you. One of the keys of going from the second stage of life, the stage of sensation, to the third stage of life, the stage of power, is to master control of our senses, our emotions, that desire to feel good, taste good, experience great things. So we have to put it in perspective. So even good things can distract you. Many times the path to your victory, the path to your goal, requires a certain amount of tension to prepare you. I was watching the Olympic Games today and the trials, and one of the things, everybody on that field, the thing that you could say was they had already paid the price. Now, whether they won or not was dependent on a lot of things, but they had trained and they had done all the things necessary. They had abstained from this, abstained from that. So as you begin to move on to your success journey, be clear about what you do want and what you don't want. All right. Hope that was helpful. Thank you so much, Billy. That was great insight. Another key thing that throws off your focus is to realize that all distractions are equal. And there's so many distractions. I think one of the main distractions, though, are time distractions. You see, money can be replaced. Stuff can be replaced. But time is that unique talent, that unique quality that we have. And when we waste time, when we let our time slip away from us, time distractions are very undermining. And so if there's one thing to help keep us focused, is to constantly use our time in the most beneficial way. When we talk about the law of value, we talk about the time question. And the time question says, what is the best use of my time right now when I consider my goals, my vision, and my purpose? And so this can be a strong tool to help you maintain your focus, that when you start to go off track a little bit, that time question, is this the best use of my time right now when I consider my goals, my vision, my purpose? Is this the best use of my money right now when I consider my goals, my vision, and my purpose? Is this the best use of my energy right now? And that's an interesting one, because we can often get involved doing penny jobs in dollar time In other words, there's certain things that we need to be doing to maintain our focus, to keep us moving forward, and yet we'll do something totally unnecessary like neatening up your desk. Oh, you know, a cluttered office is a cluttered mind. Let me straighten out my desk. Let me clean up stuff. Let me tell you that distraction can undermine your focus and bring about undesired results. Thank you. We have more people. Jeffrey, welcome, welcome, welcome. And those who are on the call, let your friends know. Tell them to come on and tune in. Bring their questions. Bring their intention. Bring their attention. Because we're going to talk a little bit to get everybody ready for that webinar tomorrow night. Oh, how to overcome lack of focus. The link is right there. There's no cost. It's a free webinar. 9 o'clock. Let me tell you, you owe it to yourself to do it. Sometimes when we recognize this idea of distractions, we often let other people pull us off track. And when we do that, our ego says you're just being loving, you're being concerned, you love your fellow man and do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All of that is true. But sometimes when you see repetitive behaviors, when people seem to come to you every month, right around rent time, when they come to you every holiday, right around Christmas, right, and it seems that they're never prepared for the things that always come about, then you may be actually crippling them because they know they can always come to you. They don't have to do anything for serious. I have a young man, I said, well, what happened to your job? He said, oh, man, they wanted me to work on weekends. I said, well, were they going to pay you time and a half? They were going to pay me double time. But I want to have my weekends free. To do what? To chill. And so you know what the cost of chilling was? He lost a great job, a job he'd been on for 3 years where he was learning the brick masonry trade. So things like that, folks, can help you. He lost his focus because he wanted to feel good and chill on the weekend. And once you lose your focus, everybody knows it around you, and the world acts accordingly. I'm going to do another broadcast a little bit later tonight at 9 o'clock p.m. So those of you on this call today, on this class today, on this live broadcast, why don't you let your friends know? Send them a text, an email, what do you call it, a hummingbird, a pigeon, whatever you need to get the word out. My good friend Reverend Ike used to see telephone, telegraph, tell a woman, tell everybody. But 9 o'clock tonight, we're going to do another live broadcast where we're going to really focus on any questions that you have about focus. What's keeping you off track? How can you get back on track? So if you all let everybody know, at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a super good time. We're going to go just for 1.5 hours. But any questions you have about focus, about what you need to do to get where you want to go, tune in tonight, 9 o'clock live broadcast, same time, same station. Hey, Elaine Lloyd, one of the great ones. And here's my good friend, Reverend Dr. Robert Campbell. He's one of the great ministers in this area that's been touching and working and healing so many people. Thank you so much, Reverend Campbell, for being on the call. This is one of our live broadcasts, and I tell you, I wish you could add some input because you have done so much for this community. Your vision has been big, and you've been totally focused. So, folks, we've gone for 29 minutes now. We're going to have our next session at 9 p.m. tonight. Any questions you have, you can even post them on my Facebook page under this broadcast, and we'll have some good answers for you. Any questions that anybody has, post them on Facebook under this broadcast. At 9 p.m. tonight, we're going to go through those questions, and we're going to share some more things about how you can overcome lack of focus to create the life you desire, to be what you want to be, to do what you want to do, and have whatever you want to have, knowing that the best is yet to come.